questions, and that would be just about it. We should now see in this poll as to what the result is. So I've shared the result on the screen. We can see that close to 35% of you are looking at more from a career advancement. Um, uh, 12 for networking, global connections, entrepreneur admissions as well, and personal growth and skill development comes in at a close second. Access to world-class education, that's what Case Western Reserve University offers. In fact, they offer all these five, and through this session, we'll talk a little bit about some of the career advancement opportunities that each of you could also get through in this session. I'm gonna stop sharing this. Enough of me. You guys are not here to hear from me. You're here to hear from Professor Eugene. So before I invite him, Professor Eugene is the Associate Dean of Research. He's also the professor in the Department of Design and Innovation and a faculty co-director at XLab at the Weatherhead School of Management at the Case Western Reserve University. So thank you so much. Dr. Eugene Yu for joining us here today. We'd like to hear about this wonderful masterclass that you've planned around design innovation with artificial intelligence. Over to you.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you are right now. Currently, I'm actually in Rome. I'm on sabbatical leave and visiting my colleagues here in Rome at the moment. Before I begin my masterclass session with you all, I'd like to give you a little bit of background about Case Western Reserve University and Cleveland. Many of you only know Cleveland based on LeBron James, and we have a few other things that we can brag about. First, Cleveland used to be the richest city in the United States, according to IRS income tax, until 1966. The reason for that was Cleveland at the turn of last century was at the heart of the Industrial Revolution in the United States. We have more automakers in Cleveland founded than any place in the world. You think Detroit is the epicenter of automotive industry in the United States, but it is only through mergers and acquisition that they become the big three, became the dominating forces in the United States in automotive industry. But Cleveland has been one of the leading industrial powerhouse as a region, and we still have a lot of companies that are dedicated in automotive industry and manufacturing, and also a lot of like suppliers in global supply chain for automotive industry. So that's a little bit about Cleveland. And Case Western Reserve University was created by the merger between Case Institute of Technology and Western Reserve University. And the reason that we have name of Western Reserve is Cleveland, when it was first found by sort of like the people from the East Coast, from Connecticut. They named Cleveland as their Western Reserve land because it's the far end of their territory. So that's how the university was founded. The early settlers in Cleveland from East Coast. So they model our university after Ivy League school. So you will see a lot of classic buildings when you come to our campus later. So that's the Western Reserve site. Case Institute of Technology was founded by the entrepreneurs at the time, and these were considered as new money, and they wanted to create engineering centric universities. So that's where the Case Institute of Technology was founded. And in 1967, these two universities decided that they would merge because literally they were on the same campus. And the Weatherhead School of Management was founded as a result of the merger. What we are very proud of is a history of our tradition of innovation. We are the first university that has operations research department and OR. We call it OR, and nowadays we call it analytics. One of the most prominent analytics department right now that people know is Wharton Analytics Group. Actually, Wharton Analytics was founded by our faculty members who left our school to expand our influence in East Coast. So we consider Wharton Analytics our proud spin-off. OB department also has the world oldest PhD program in organizational behavior, very well known for their work on organization change, leadership, and team science. We are the first department and probably the only department with the name of design and innovation. It was created about 10 years ago, actually, between the merger between marketing department, strategy department, information systems department. And because we all three of us are focusing on creating something new and using technology. So that has become a dominating focus of our research. So on today's class, I will talk about how generative AI, generative machine, is changing the way we think about organizations and value creation and innovation. So many of you know this quote by William Gibson, futurist sci-fi novel writer, and he once said, "The future is already here; it is just not evenly distributed." Right? I would say the future of the business is already here. It is just not evenly distributed. What does it mean? Is that this is the reason, very reason that you want to get to the leading business schools where leading scholars are thinking about the future of the business, because that knowledge is not evenly distributed, right? So this is one of the reasons that you want to come to places like Case Western to learn the latest thinking, not what you can find from textbook, not what you can hear from Bloomberg or Wall Street Journal based on the research that has been done several years ago. You want to learn right from the faculty, from the lab to the bedside, if we're in the medical school, right? So many of us, including myself, engage in leading research. We work a lot with the corporate partners to really understand what is the future of a business. So, this is just the, images of generated by generative AI, just to, set the tone that this is what we're talking about today. But artificial intelligence is not a new term. It has been around since 1950s. In fact, inventor of computer science, Turing, thought about this Turing test. So we've been with artificial intelligence for a long time. But the contemporary interest in artificial intelligence got sparked by this interesting endeavor by Google AlphaGo defeating Chinese Go Master in like a win for AI and so on, and it was 2017. And then since then we've been talking about how the new types of machines are emerging and the way we collaborate and work with is changing. And Google has already deployed AI chatbot to be tested, at hospitals. Mayo Clinic has created Department of AI. One of my doctoral students is actually working at Mayo Clinic with their Department of AI team to understand what does it take to create such a department. So, just so you know, Mayo Clinic is the oldest, comprehensive hospital system in the United States, #1 hospital. They created electronic medical record system. And so they have been collaborating with all these leading tech companies, and their Department of AI is at the same level as Department of Cardiology, Department of Radiology, oncology, etc., etc. And when you actually think about it, it is a major innovation. Department of Radiology was the only other department at Mayo Clinic, or for that matter, any other hospital that is not connected to human body. Radiology was the only technology-driven department. Now they have another one, which is called Department of AI. So you could see that AI is really changing the way we think about it. AlphaFold, many of you have heard about it, deep learning technique to discover the new forms of protein folding 3D structure that is incredibly difficult to discover by human. All of these AI-related innovation that we are currently talking about, generative AI, began in 2018 by a paper written by 8 co-authors, all worked at Google. Attention is all you need. This is a paper that everybody should be able to, should read if you're interested in generative AI. It's an important work. Now, what you are seeing is that I'm going to show you a bunch of articles, abstract, how generative AI is already demonstrating human level capability, right? So average time taken decreased by 40%, output quality rose by 18%. This is how generative AI is helping human workers in doing different types of tasks. This is a writing exercise, and this one is how generative AI can be used by the conversational assessment in call center. You might have seen that one of the financial fintech companies just announced that they expect about 200% increase in their productivity by the end of the year by deploying AI. As a result, one of the major infrastructure company for call centers lost about $1 billion in market capitalization within a month. It's 1/10 of that company's market capitalization. So we are already seeing a major disruption taking place in the marketplace. This is another empirical study that Gen AI is increasing developers' productivity. So we are rethinking how we teach our data analytics and fintech programs and so on, where we teach technical skills to our students, because Gen AI is showing the ability to code at a very accurate level and much faster than junior level programmers. So the question is, how can you become 10x developers or 10x product managers or conceptual leader who could actually think about what needs to be built and designed, not just learning how to build a new product. But the point here that I would like to make is that throughout the history, we have used tools to improve our productivity and extended our ability. Gen AI is not the first time that we are having this kind of conversation. Now, of course, many of you know Karl Marx. He's the guy who created communism and all this labor movement. But he complained, and then he's the one who talked a lot about technology taking away the jobs from people. And he said, the production of too many useful things result in too many useless people. The reality, however, is that people still are around, and we still have the majority of the jobs, and the reality is that we will be still around and we will still run the organizations. So the question that we need to ask ourselves is that what makes us human unique? Well, we are tool makers, Homo faber. We are social beings, Homo socius. We are also meaning makers, Homo poetica. So what makes us really unique is our ability to create new meaning from the use of technology and creating new forms of social structures, organizing patterns as we try to shape human experiences. And that's where the organization and business really needs to focus on. So how shall we prepare for the future of our business? So I want to just focus on the one aspect, which is where are we right now? Business current contemporary industrial organizations started at the beginning of onset of industrial revolution. That time period was dominated by what I call physical machines. These physical machines are big, gigantic automation machines that we run in factories. And their job is transforming natural energy like a fire, like a coal, like a gasoline, turn them into a machine to transform commodities that you find in the nature or that you can purchase in the marketplace into marketable goods and services. That's what we call physical machine, and that is the precisely what has been driving our economy last 150 and 200 years. Around 1940 and 50, computers started coming in, started automating a lot of knowledge work. And that's what sociologist Zuboff called the age of the smart machines. Now, this smart machine age is coincided with a massive infusion of global labor forces from India, from China, and global integration through global supply chain. The technology like internet has been used to connect companies like like a Walmart with Chinese manufacturers and so on. And these companies form network, and that's what has been dominating way of generating revenue and growth. In 80s and 90s and early 2000. But at the turn of this century, we began seeing a new kind of machines emerging, what I call generative machines. So what do I mean by generative machine? Here are some examples. Amazon's homepage is a product that you purchase through the subscription of Amazon Prime. You cannot see the same Amazon homepage twice. It is designed to change what is displayed on the screen based on what you purchased before, what others purchased, while you are away from Amazon. This website is designed to be different each and every time you interact with it. Social media is a product that we purchase by giving up our data. At social media, a news feed is exactly designed to give you different content each and every time you visit. Google search is a product. I'm showing you two search results with my name, and you can see that they look different. Not because I have changed, not only because I have changed. Yes, I am changing every day, every moment. I create a new kind of links and content, but also people's search pattern about me change. And what you get is an outcome of complex folding of these machines and data and hardware and infrastructure, some of which are generated by millions of others, people like me. And that is what is making this space so exciting. Now, of course, smartphone and smartphone ecosystem is an organic machine and generative machine. Why is that? Because no two people have exactly the same iPhone. Why is that? Because the moment you purchase iPhone or any smartphone from the vendors, you start customizing it and you change it every single day. The machine is learning, constantly listening in, and constantly monitoring what you do, and then the ecosystem of app stores are changing constantly. The new apps are added. Some of the apps are updated or deleted, so you never get the same experience twice. Of course, generative AI and ChatGPT like chatbots and large language model based tools are ultimate example of this type of generative machines. So, what is the future of a firm with the generative machines in the center of it? Well, let's take a step back to think about what a firm is. A firm is a technical, social technical assemblage of different resources, people, machine, knowledge, and physical, resources and digital materials, all brought together to create value repeatedly at scale. Okay. So if you think about automakers, they bring all these different capabilities, whether it's people, organization, assembly line, supply chain. We bring rubber, we bring oil, we bring metal, we have, and then we use machines to shape them, panels, and stamp these machines and laser cut. put them together and produce these cars at scale and repeatedly. That's what we do. And then the goal that we have is to create value. And other people are willing to pay money to you because what you produce is valuable to them. So this is what we do as a firm. So value creation process is the steps and activities, some of which are within a firm, some of them are beyond a single firm, that lead to the production of marketable goods. So the processes that are involved in creating a car is what we call value creation process. Now, one of the most well-known model for the industrial age value creation is what you will learn in every other MBA program, called Michael Porter's value chain, right? And what value chain did is transforming raw material into marketable goods and services. And we, firm, are producers, and the buyers purchase it one time. And this is what you will learn from other MBA programs. However, if you come to CASE, and then in that process, the value in exchange is created with a complete product for buyers. But when you come to CASE, you're going to learn that that you will not be able to learn elsewhere, which is called digital first value creation process with a generative machine in the middle. What it shows is that when you use digital assets like a data and user profile as a core source of value creation, the process of generating value look very, very different, right? We have a user in the middle. It's a repeated engagement with users. And we sense what they do in the real world. And then we analyze what they do, what they like. And then we shape what they do in the future so that their experiences will always become better. This is what I call digital first value creation process with value loop as the dominating process by which you create value. So value in use is what we produce there through runtime products. So what do I mean by runtime products? All software-based products are runtime produced. This Zoom call that you're seeing is being produced by software that you are running on your machine and on my machine and everybody else's machine real time. There are algorithms that are running constantly behind the scene for me to encode my voice and image into digital bits, for you to transform that digital bits and decode them into analog forms and to emit and generate sound, emit visuals and generate sound so that you can recognize my voice and my image. This is what I call digital flip. What used to be driven by value chain, there the core asset is a physical asset. They were the revenue center. They were the one that occupies second lower half of the value chain. And digital asset, data in information technology, used to be cost center. When you have a digital flip with a generative machine in the middle, and generative AI is not an exception, is that digital assets are now becoming revenue center. This is where we make money. Think about Amazon, think about Google. Many traditional manufacturing companies are moving into connected products and digital subscription services. And their physical assets are increasingly becoming cost center. So this is what you will learn when you come here. We teach you how to create trillion-dollar company with valuation. How do you do that? Here's this formula: a powerful digital value loop with open third-party service ecosystem that creates ongoing dynamic hyper-personal engagement with users that produces, this is the key term, positive externality. Now, you may not know what externality means and positive externality means. So let me unpack what that means here. So primary source of value in the industrial economy, like cars and bags and food, is a scarcity. Diamond is valuable, gold is valuable because they're scarce. Ferrari and Porsche 911, they're expensive and valuable because they're scarce. Louis Vuitton bags are valuable and expensive because they're scarce. And because the value is driven by scarcity, the more you produce, the more you use, their value will go down. The marginal value is always negative. Okay. However, primary source of a value in digital is ubiquity. Right now I'm in Rome and I can communicate with you because digital internet is available no matter where you go. The more you have, therefore, the better it gets. In Facebook, the fact that the more people are joining Facebook or the more people are using Twitter or TikTok, my value that I extract from that service is not diminished. Unlike, someone else has exact same car that I have, all of a sudden, my value from the car is diminished because I don't want to be the same as another person. But in the case of digital media, digital product, the more other people join the product, the better it gets, right? Now, if I eat, since I'm in Rome, Roman pasta. I love love their pasta, but you can only eat so much. The best pasta is when you have the first scoop. The second is worse than the first one. The third one is going to be worse than the second one. However, when you watch Netflix, when you purchase Amazon Prime, what they can do is that the more you engage with them, the better it gets. Why? Because they know who you are. So the value creation in digital value loop with a generative machine is on demand, deferred, because the final product is assembled at the moment you consume. They're temporary, recombinant configuration of distributed physical and digital resources through live algorithmic action. That is what we're actually building now. It is not some trivial incremental changes we're seeing. We are right now seeing a fundamental shift in the way we think about innovation. So future firm is a nexus of generative machine producing one-off experiences. Like only one person can have that particular experience, only that particular moment. Because we can do that because we gain a perishable insight about you. That insight, the value of that insight evaporates once I move on from that particular context. I know where you are. I know where you have been. Therefore, I know exactly what you want right now, and I'll give it to you at that particular moment. And we want to do this in scale because we leverage computers. So, I'm going to just skip this. So in the old days, when Ford was producing T model, Model T, we had one machine, one product, it's mass production, right? And then we went through Madman era, this like Madison Avenue. We discover market segmentation. So some people still teach that is the only gospel in marketing, market segmentation. We went way beyond that era. And then there are people who are teaching still personalization. Yeah, personalization is better. Mass, customization is better. However, where we are now is what I call hyper-personalization. What I mean by hyper-personalization, that means who I am in the morning is different than who I am in the afternoon. What I want right after, breakfast is different from what I want right after lunch or right before, when I go to bed. I may want coffee, Italian espresso, right at the dawn of the morning, but I don't want to drink espresso before I go to bed. So if you profile me as a coffee drinker and like a strong Italian coffee, that's what the limit of the personalization. But the fact that I am in this particular Central European time zone and I just I'm ready to go to bed at this time, then you probably should not offer strong espresso double shot because your algorithm, hyper personalization algorithm, can actually understand what you want right at that moment. So imagine a perfectly customized offering just for you, just for now, all the times at scale. This is where we're going with the generative AI to create value at a massive level. So how does it work? It is a sequence of 4 different types of AI collaborating, coordinating This will be my last slide. The first, we need to understand what is your context, what you're trying to do. This is what we call classic AI. It is mostly about inferencing the context, classification. So I want to know where you are, what you're doing, and based on 1,000 variables, I can make sense who you are. Okay, Youngjin is this kind of person, but that's not enough. Like I said, I want to know what Youngjin is likely to do next. This is what we call predictive engine. So this is a predictive AI, right? So based on what I know, I can compute the probability of what I will likely to do next 5 minutes, next hour, next day, and then based on that, I can generate and offering possibilities to you. This is what we call generative AI. Now, when you have this, now I have to coordinate many of these different kind of offerings so that they will actually show up to me. This is a agential AI coordinating multiple different AI activities all together without or with minimum human intervention. So this is where we're going, and this is what I call new types of value process, value creation process. And I'm here to tell you that generative AI and AI revolution is here to stay. It is just beginning, and we are at a historic time, super exciting time. If you like to ride on that wave and enjoy the up end of that whole opportunity. So with that, I will stop and hand it back to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Eugene, for this wonderful masterclass. We learned a lot about design, innovation, and artificial intelligence. Without further ado, I'd like to invite Maria to talk to us a little bit about the Case Western University and the Weatheridge School of Management. Folks, if you have any questions for Dr. Eugene or for Maria, please do post them in the Q&A tab. We'll ask all the relevant ones after Maria's presentation. So if you have questions, Q&A tab is where you must be. Thank you. Maria, over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Can everybody hear me okay? All right.
Yes, we
can.
Yeah,
hello, welcome. Thank you so much, Professor Yu. I'm always often and very excited to hear more about generative AI and the use cases, but also the future, and that it is here now, and we are in it. So I saw a bunch of really nice questions in there that the candidates would probably like answered. So I'm going to go very quickly through this presentation. As you heard, this is a very exciting time for our school and our students. We continue to be on the forefront of innovation technology. We're refining the curriculum as we speak for our MBA program. And this is really in response to some of the market needs, as you heard from Professor Yu. And the other part of this is that we're a highly personalized experience for students. I've been at Case for about the last 9 months, and in my listening tour, when I talk to students, they tell me all about the interactions that they have with their faculty and how meaningful it is. So I don't always hear that in this way, and so I wanted to share that with you. So Weatherhead, as Dr. Yu mentioned, is, we're really proud to be a part of Case Western Reserve, which is a globally recognized U.S. institution here. And, we're very proud of our 16 Nobel Prize winners among our alumni and faculty, including Richard Thaler, who just recently won an award in economics not too long ago. And in just a couple of years, the university will celebrate over 200 years of history and academic excellence. So let me show you about these wonderful places that Professor Yu shared. So this is actually a photo of campus in the fall. And I wanted to give you a glimpse of what it might look like. And one thing that is very, very connected to our innovation and our spirit of design thinking is the building in which our business school is housed, right? So Case Weatherhead School of Management is housed in this building. It's called the Peter B. Lewis, which was designed by the world-renowned architect Frank Gehry. And if you think this is exciting, you can imagine the dynamics of the inside space and all of the interesting concepts there. And you can tell through this design that we don't only think about graduate management in its form and structure, but we're thinking about how else it can be reshaped. So that theme is something that you're hearing throughout our session today. So, we pride ourselves on really creating a welcoming learning environment that's purposefully engaging and very creative. And of course, we value a diverse community and foster a very wonderful culture of global citizenship and leadership. So this is a very special place. Professor, you spoke a lot about Cleveland. So here's a nice snapshot. This is Lake Erie, one of the many of the great freshwater lakes here in the United States. And we are seated a little closer to downtown. But to get through some of our graduate programs, I will send you, please look for us online. I'll drop some links in the chat as we're answering questions about AI. These are a multitude of programs here. We've been the first in so many of these, but we have so many opportunities for you to specialize in finance, accountancy, supply chain, business analytics, and then of course our MBA focus, which is both online, in person, full time. Many of the programs that we have for our residential programs are STEM designated, so that's something that I think will be important as you're considering going on. A quick glance of our current students and alumni. Many of you were interested in an MBA or graduate management education for career advancement. And so you can see that there are a number of opportunities here, not only in Cleveland, but really much more broadly across the US. These are 3 of our current and graduating students. So Wasi Rahman is currently seated to work at Deloitte this year. He finished his Master's of Accountancy and will finish it this May. Tasia Sweeney is one of our Dean Scholars. She is somebody who is dynamic, has been in product management and marketing, and is now has had an internship at Permco and has learned Six Sigma. So she's doing a lot of really wonderful work here, winning case competitions and more. She's one of our graduate assistants and is an ambassador for our team. So she's happy to connect with you at any time. So you can find her on LinkedIn or certainly through our website. And then Anurag Vermani, he is coming from the field of healthcare and is currently positioned with internships in some of our 4 of the major hubs here. Cleveland is also a major hub for healthcare, one of which is the Metro Health Systems, along with Cleveland Clinic, which is akin to the Mayo Clinic that Dr. Yu mentioned earlier. And then one of our esteemed alums who is currently in the tech side and was certainly a part of the AI conversation, as he is a chief tech officer at Etsy and now is the current CEO of MyFitnessPal, which is a fitness app. So just some really wonderful people within the community. You probably want to know about the admissions process. It is a holistic review. There is still time to apply. If you can have your application in by April 30th, I know it can be really touch and go with visas at this time, but we do have, next year as well. So please keep in touch and let us know. You'll see that on the bottom right, we do have an application fee waiver. So if you type in SEED 2024, that waiver will work for this year. And if we need to reissue it again for next year, we can do that as well. I really want to give this time back to Dr. Yu because there were some awesome questions in the chat. Let me see if I have any more information. We have a great dream team of people here to help you through the process, as you can see. And so all of this information is available online. I will make sure to put it in the chat so that you have it. And we look forward to welcoming you soon. All right. Thank you so much. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Maria, for that wonderful presentation. Just going to add Dr. Eugene and myself back to Spotlight so that we all have discovered. Great. So we have about 15 more minutes where we can try and understand a little bit about some of the questions. We've got wonderful questions already in the chat box and in the Q&A tab rather. So candidates, if you're still interested in having your questions answered about the topic or about the Case Western Reserve University, now is a great time for you to consider doing that. Just gonna We've also shared some links in the chat box, which is the scholarship opportunities for students that are applying to the Weathered School of Management. I believe that you can also explore some of those wonderful opportunities offered by the university. So, Dr. Eugene, there have been a lot of questions around artificial intelligence and jobs, right? I know for a matter of fact that AI has really helped, across various streams. Going back to when the computers were invented, people thought that will these computers take up our jobs? Then there was the internet that came through. We were thinking, will internet take up jobs? Now it's AI. And the question goes again. A lot of jobs are being replaced by artificial intelligence. That is the fact. But what can so two parts to this question. It's a summary of a lot of questions coming up in the Q&A tab. Question number one is AI going to displace people from their jobs? And question number two is, what can candidates do in order to be ready in this AI affected world, if I'd like to say so?
Yeah, so the excellent question. To answer the second question first, because that's easy response. Come to Weatherhead, then they will be fine. Uh, Now, a little more seriously. So there is this kind of like a saying in the internet, which says like AI is not going to take away your job. It is people who know how to use AI that will take your job. AI is just a tool. AI is not a human. AI is not super intelligent, at least yet. It's going to take some time. It does not have an executive function. It does not set the goal and objective function. So it will remain human job of thinking about what should we do. That part of thinking cannot be replaced. Even if the idea that I want you to think about what my business should look like, well, you have to give that idea, that objective function to the machine, right? So the executive function is one that we will continue to control. Machine, the generative AI, it's not autonomous as we like it. So that's number one, there will be no question that certain jobs will be eliminated. Those jobs are not adding, value in a way, right? And in many ways, do you really want to be the person who is doing repetitive work, even under the name of knowledge work? So just so that you can get paid? Certainly no. If you can pursue better and more audacious, goals and a purpose in your life, that's what you should be doing. And what happened in our civilization, Homo sapiens is tenaciously, pursuant of tenacious pursuit of newer, more audacious goals. Once we get very easily bored. So once we reach to a point, knowing how to perform certain things very well, we want to do something else, something more audacious, something more daring, something more, inspiring. And to a degree that our human innate ability with the known tool is a limiting factor. The moment we lift up, we will see people just jumping into that new opportunity, try to push the limit. This is how we went to the moon and want to go back to moon and Mars. This is how we are conquering cancer. This is how we make our lives collectively better. So I don't worry about that at all, the future of work and future of jobs. And guess what? Next 15 years is going to be most exciting time of human history, and you will be at the front seat of that change. So, what can you do? Well, I think you should, learn something about that cannot be replaced by machine. So leadership is important. Emotional intelligence is important, right? Like I said, executive function is important. Your attitude, toward other people, your graciousness, your friendliness cannot be replaced by machine, right? These are the kind of things, quality that people are looking for. Creativity, we have seen machines can perform at the 70 percentile level. So human, if you look at entire population and put them all in, 100 percentile, about 70, 75 percentile is average machine performance. Now, some people could actually use machine to even maximize their creativity. Those are the people who are at the top echelon of the creativity skill. So what do you need to do? You need to expand your own creativity horizon by exposing yourself to new ideas and different ideas. So that's what I would do, right? I would not worry too much about whether my job will taken by machine. I will just continue to invest on myself, continue to remain curious, continue to think about what it means to be a human, like a live fully. I think that's what I would suggest.
I think that's a very well answered question about, instead of worrying, getting some things done out of it. So, Dr. Eugene, thank you for that. A lot of questions have also come around individual profiles as to how AI might impact a particular industry. We don't want to go into industry by industry, if that's fine. We want to learn. I think there have been a couple of questions that have come around. What can a candidate do to be up to date with this information for their respective fields? Taking up a full-fledged program is one of the options at the Case Western Reserve University, because there are a lot of courses have a lot of AI contributing to its curriculum. But apart from that, what can students do to be up to date with all this new technologies that have been coming into this world?
So I would give you suggestions. Number one, if you are truly interested in AI and want to be an expert in AI, learn AI. And what I'm talking about is not just reading about AI. For example, 2018, attention is all you need. You need to read that article. You need to understand what it is. Now, in order to understand 2018 article, you cannot just go and pick it up. Why? Because there's another paper that paved the foundation of that article. That is 2013 article. Jeff Dean from Google wrote that paper, which is vectorization of unstructured data. If you do not understand that paper, you cannot understand what the hell is happening with attention is all you need, right? And without it, you cannot think about anything what we are doing with all the other things. Now, some of you ask questions about what is deep learning. Well, you need to understand what neural net is and how neural net is and layers of neural net with the regressions of regressions in different layers, and backward propagation and forward propagation. That's something that you need to know before you think about Jeff Dean's 2013 paper, right? So now I'm talking about it only for those who want to be technically competent person who actually want to be an AI expert, right? Now, so you should, spend time, struggle, and try to refresh your algebra and linear algebra, and because a lot of it is matrix manipulations and a lot of Greek letters. But get familiar yourself with those and get back to it, statistics and so on. Having that solid technical foundation allow you to be a critical strategic thinker. I'm not talking about you becoming a programmer of AI, AI engineer. You are not looking to do that in your new career with, MBA, right? But if you do not understand what this technology really is about, you cannot go out and sell these ideas and provide strategic insight to the companies and your clients or your boss, your colleagues in a meaningful way. So I think that's number one. For those who want to be an expert in this technical field, learn about technology, dive into it, learn as much as you can. There are a lot of online courses, right? You could sign up. Coursera has a lot of courses. Sign up. 6 weeks. Spend some time, learn about it, expose yourself. If you are not a technical person, there are a lot of no-code tools that you can get your hands dirty. Try them out. See what it is like. Follow some tech leaders and thought leaders, faculty members who are writing about it, blog about it. Try to understand these use case scenarios. Expose yourself, right? Remain curious. I think that is the only thing I could suggest. Because at the end, this field is changing really, really fast, and you need to stay, current by constantly learning.
Wonderful. Just on that note, with regards to design innovation and AI. Since you're the professor in this particular area, what are some of the things that Case Western Reserve Universities, whether it's School of Management, is doing in this field? Because a lot of candidates who are still in this room, about 263 of them, are interested in this topic. So just wanted to understand what are top universities like Case Western Reserve doing in this particular field, maybe in terms of, if not research, but at least in their programs, what all let's say courses, etc., are being covered to integrate AI.
So we're in the process of introducing a new course of introduction to Gen AI, prompt engineering, and so on. Some of you may have heard a major press release about our strategic partnership with Microsoft. Nowadays, if you want to work with the Gen AI, there is no other company than Microsoft, to work with. So we have a strategic partnership with Microsoft. Their thought leaders are actually working with our faculty members to develop new course content in Gen AI. So very soon we're going to have a Gen AI prompt engineering 101 course that is available for or required for everyone in our graduate programs. That's number one. Number two, our faculty members, core faculty members, are busy working with the Microsoft team, and we are actually running Prompathon in early May to figure out a way, with the help of Gen AI, to redesign some of our core MBA courses. And so very soon, some of the very fundamental courses we teach in marketing, finance, accounting, strategy, and and so on will look quite different, because our faculty members will begin to integrate these skills, and then what used to be done through statistical packages or the Excel spreadsheet will be done through prompt engineering with the data set and interacting with the tools. So these are the things. We are also working to create a separate track for those who want to pursue Gen AI more. So, for example, the center that I lead, XLab, we are currently doing a project with one of the leading insurance companies. The students actually built multimodal Gen AI chatbot that act like a real insurance customer for the purpose of call center training. So call center is providing training to new hires, and they get phone calls that are generated by machine and creating real life situation, and then they are interacting with the machine as if it is a real person, right? So that is actually done by our students under the supervision of one of our faculty members, right? And it's a wonderful. We actually pair our MBA students with the computer sciences students, so they work together. In the fall semester, we are also going to have a project course where MBA students will be guided by industry coaches. These are the two industry leaders who have implemented major AI chatbot for one of the largest, digital ticketing agent who actually handles all the traffic for Taylor Swift. And he's collaborating also with NFL, and he's going to teach our students to develop, and then I'm collaborating with them to develop a 360 assessment of AI readiness for organization who wants to embrace AI to transform themselves. So that will be done by our MBA students who are in the process of admitting students into the project. So just to give you a little bit of teaser of what are some of the things that we are working on in this field.
Wonderful. I believe we've heard about what Case Western Reserve University is doing. We've heard about how AI might not replace your job, about the future of AI. So a lot of interesting comments by Dr. Eugene Yu about design innovation and artificial intelligence. We thank him for his time. Thank you so much, Dr. Yu,
Thank
for
you.
taking out time. We still have a few more questions about the admissions. So we'll spend some time with Maria to talk a little bit about the admissions, but I know that Dr. Yu has some other commitments, so we'll let him go. Thank you so much once again for taking our time to do this wonderful session from your busy schedule. And we hope you have a good time in Rome.
All right. Well, thank you, Sharang, and thank you everybody for showing up and remain on this call until now. And I hope to see many of you on campus in Cleveland sometime soon. Bye. Thank you,
Wonderful.
Maria.
Maria, thank you so much, Dr. Yoshi. Super. Maria, we still have some questions, and I know that you've answered a lot of it through the chat box. So thank you so much for that. We've answered questions, folks, for the ones that are still listening and still interested about the admission process. We've covered a lot of information from Maria's presentation. We'll obviously share it with you at a later stage as well. Just on certain elements about when a candidate can actually apply for this year. I know you've mentioned about the visa might be a slight challenge right now. What is the current timeline for international students? When can a candidate at the very latest submit their application?
Yeah, we've had some really good luck with candidates, specifically from India, applying later stage by April 30th. So our next deadline is April 30th. So if you feel compelled and you are able to work through the visa process pretty quickly, classes will not start until August, right? So we'll have orientation and we'll hope that you would get here before early August, late July. But yeah, I would say apply April 30th. And then if you need some extended time for any reason, we can work with you. So we have a rolling admission beyond that, but it really becomes like, your time through the visa process that really where it can get a little bit tricky. But other than that, yeah, please do apply if you're keen to get started soon.
Wonderful. A little bit about the ideal candidate, and I know that it's an extremely difficult question because there is no there's no set pattern for who's going to always get in and who might not get in. But for candidates that you've seen over the last few years, especially coming from India, South Asia, maybe if you could also add in some folks that have come here from Nigeria, Ghana, etc. Would you be able to share some insights on what candidates must do in order to have a relatively strong application to applying while they apply to your university?
Yeah, I'm going to take a little bit of a step back because I know that I rushed through the time that we had online because AI is such an awesome topic. And I was like, let's just use as much of his time as possible. We do things differently here. If that's not something you're picking up on, that's really the theme at Weatherhead. And so even in the admissions process, we're doing it differently. So we have eliminated the essays, and we host video chats. And so one of the things that Professor Youngjin said is that we were the first to have a PhD in organizational behavior. So we are still like with the leaders for the last 40 years who've been teaching like appreciative inquiry, who teach about leadership competencies, the Resonant Leader by Richard Boyatzis. And so I've actually worked with Professor Boyatzis to develop leadership competencies that we then evaluate through the asynchronous videos and through your application. And so we're really using a very thoughtful approach to better understanding who you are as a candidate beyond your GMAT score, beyond your GPA, beyond even your work experience. So the people that we have seen do quite well are people who are incredibly engaged, right? You have high capacity, you're interested in learning, you have that intellectual curiosity. Those are some factors along with resilience and the ability to persist and really work through. And I would say that, it's difficult across the US right now, just in terms of like career advancement and really securing roles in the US. And I hope that that message is also being sent. Like that is no easy feat, but our students have the fortitude and the resilience to keep working really hard with our career development team and also with faculty to really make some of those moves. But the examples that I gave to you of Wasi, Teja, and Anurag, and Temiteo from Nigeria, like so many people here on our campus are really working hard and doing such great leadership work within the cohort, right? So if you're ready to kind of engage and be a part of something bigger than yourself, I think this is a great place to be. We have, for the first time, enrolled I think, and are expecting a very good group of students coming from Nigeria and Ghana. So very excited about that. The global representation here is phenomenal across all of our programs. When you walk into Peter B. Lewis building, you see, I think there's like over 100 national flags posted. Like it's the first thing that you see. So it's just, I don't know, it's a really good feeling. Our dean, Andrew Medvedev, is he and his family moved here from Russia when he was like in his teens. His parents became faculty members here. So he himself has a really, really open spirit about what it takes to succeed and kind of the resilience and the hard work ultimately to get where you want to go.
Wonderful. Very well, explained about what an ideal candidate, would need to have. So thank you so much for that, Maria. We still have some questions, but they're, some of them are program specific. Some of them have already been covered here through Maria's presentation or her responses. So the folks that still have some unanswered questions, be rest assured that we've covered most of them through the presentation. It'll just be repeat, and it might not be fair for the rest of the folks as well. Some of them are extremely personal questions. So if they've done a background in something, what course, etc., should they do? I don't think that's it's a good platform right now, but sure, you can reach out to us with all your questions, and we'll put them to Maria at a later stage. We've spent the best part of an hour and a few minutes, Maria, to learn a little bit about design innovation and AI, as well as about Case Western Reserve University. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for everyone who's also been here in this room. We are close to 200 people still watching in, listening in. So thank you so much to each of you. We've shared the application fee waiver for candidates who have registered for today's masterclass in the chat box. So if you're applying this year, use SEED 2024. That's going to waive you off any application fees that the website might ask you for. Sorry, there's just one question that's come in, and I'd request to you to answer that, and also if you can spend some time on any closing remarks that you'd like to have. So the question is around entrance test, GMAT, GRE. Is that mandatory for certain programs? Is that optional? Would you like to share some testing requirements as well?
Yeah, so for our MBA program, the GMAT or GRE is required unless you can waive out of it. So if you come from like a really incredible STEM background with calculus and statistics and some other quantitative courses, there's a possibility of waiving out of those exams. And that's really for the MBA. I think for other programs like business analytics, finance, supply chain, and to some extent accounting, that can also be waived. I think we do more waiving of exams for those specialized masters, especially if you have some of the quantitative courses already embedded within your undergraduate. So that should be, yeah, it's pretty, we're very open with that. I think our MBA program is the one that we're really focusing more on the test exams. And I think part of that is just to kind of create that equivalency across schools and across regions. And so that's primarily it. But I also wanted to say that I did get a lot of questions about scholarships, and there are scholarships available. I think that there's sometimes there's a worry that there may not be funding, and I'm seeing a lot of students who are coming in who are very first generation, right? Their families did not go to college. This is the first time that they will be stepping into a graduate program, and so I think that I think that's different across all of our graduate programs here in the US. And so because of that, I think there's more funding available now than probably ever. And it's really exciting to see. So know that there are scholarships still available, and we still have, there's still available opportunities across all of our programs.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that, Maria. We've also covered about testing, about scholarships, and about these wonderful remarks by Maria, who has shared some insights about how you can still pursue a master's program or an MBA program at the Case Western Reserve University in 2024. So if some of you are still here and still late risers into this, the application deadline is the 30th of this month, and they've got some good historic information about the fact that you could still figure out your visas and still make it in time for classes that start in August of 2024. Thank you so much, Maria, for your time. Thank you so much to the 172 of you that are still here. For you or for your friends that might not have joined this session, or if you came in late, we'll be sending you this recording, and the application fee waiver is still there. That is SEED 2024. We recommend that you use it if you're applying this year. Thank you so much to each and every one of you. Thank you so much, Maria. It was a pleasure chatting with you. Bye, and have